What's up, gentlemen? Ramsky here, and as promised in my latest video, today I have for you my thoughts/review on the newest Halo novel, Hunters in the Dark. Now, before we dive into my thoughts about the story, I want to give a huge shout out to the members of the Halo community for helping me make this video. Cleanup, Logan Grimar, Bullet Rebel, DJ's account, and even my own brother, Gone to Lunch 2, as he's known on Xbox Live, and really many other people that were not able to help out just simply due to there not being enough slots, for being up and ready to help out for the video. I'm very thankful for that, and I want to thank you guys for helping me out for getting this Halo 3 4-player co-op campaign footage, and I swear it'll make sense later on in the video as to why we recorded this. So now onward to my thoughts of Hunters in the Dark. So the story takes place about 2 years after Halo 3, so this is before Requiem and everything that happened on Halo 4, and the setup for the plot is a little something like this. So after discovering multiple Halo rings, the UNSC has set up to study the rings, and they want to find out as much about them and the Forerunners as they possibly can. So while they're observing some of the artifacts on the ring, a UNSC team of some archaeologists and scientist types discover that a countdown timer all of a sudden has started on the ring, and not only the one that they're studying, but all the Halo rings. And without a way of really stopping that countdown timer locally, they have to find a way to stop it before it reaches zero, because that can really only mean one thing. The rings are going to fire and destroy all sentient life in the galaxy, and that's obviously not a good thing to happen. So the UNSC is then forced again to team up with some elites to find a way to stop all the rings from firing, and without a way to stop the rings locally, there's only one other place to stop them remotely, which is the Ark. Now, like I said in my last video, this is the second Halo book that I've read, the first one being New Blood, which of course tells the story of Buck, how he went from being an ODST to enlisting as a Spartan and eventually finding a spot on Fire Team Osiris, which, as we all know, is the squad that Agent Locke, or Spartan Locke rather, has that's hunting down Master Chief in Halo 5. So, as you probably already know, Hunters in the Dark is an origin story of sorts to Olympia Vale, who is, of course, another of the new Spartans to be in Fire Team Osiris. And one thing we learn about her is, as a kid, Vale grew up on a Sangheili colony. So she's able to actually understand and speak the elite language, and has like a really deep understanding of the elite or the Sangheili culture. So in the squad that is sent to the Ark, it's her job to serve as like an interpreter or a liaison between the elites and the humans, and try to help keep the peace between them. So she's more of an intelligent linguist type of person, and really not the badass soldier that I or maybe you would expect her to be. So now, going into the book, at first I really expected Vale to be the center of attention, or really like the main protagonist of the story, a lot like how Buck was the main protagonist in New Blood, and that just really wasn't the case in the book. Hunters in the Dark actually has multiple protagonists, all of which have their own stories. Two of them I actually found particularly interesting because they're characters that we've seen before and actually played as, but didn't really learn anything about. In Halo 3's 4-player co-op, everyone knows that first and second player are the Master Chief and Arbiter, while third and fourth player were just these two random elites. Now, those two random elites are actually two of the main protagonists in Hunters in the Dark. So the two elites' names are, and I'm going to butcher this very badly, are Uz Taham and Intho Shram. And in the book, they serve as like the Arbiter's trusted, like they're his most trusted soldiers, assassins, liaisons, like, you know, what have you. They're pretty much like all around badasses, especially Uz. And I'm not going to really spoil anything, but his intro and backstory are pretty damn cool and make for some really intense situations throughout the book. Another reason I found these guys to be interesting, even more so than Olympia Vale really, is that this is their second time on the Ark. And there are times when they would actually describe scenarios of fighting alongside the Master Chief and the Arbiter, and they even come across some of their previous battlegrounds. They describe seeing the remains of two giant Scarab tanks and destroyed human and Covenant vehicles, and even they describe a giant hardlight bridge that connects to a citadel. And it was really great to hear like their perspectives on all the things that happened, because I could visualize exactly what they were talking about because I played the Halo 3 campaign and was able to see their exact position that they were describing in the book. And that was one of my favorite things about the story, just how they were able to tie that in, the Halo 3 campaign, and what you have actually experienced as a player, and then reading again about that in their perspective was just really mind-blowing. It was really, really cool, in my opinion. Now, the overall story of Hunters in the Dark is, of course, about the squad of elites and humans that are working together to stop the countdown timer on the Ark. But there's an even deeper story of the two races having to put aside their past and their personal differences for the greater good of the galaxy. A lot of the humans still have bitterness toward the elites because of their time and their actions while they were in the Covenant. And there are a lot of elites who would still very much like for the Covenant to be reunited. And in fact, there's actually a civil war going on between the elites, and many of them see the Arbiter as a heretic, and they hold him responsible for disbanding the Covenant, and they view him as a traitor for siding with the humans. And we actually saw a glimpse of this civil war at E3 this year when they were doing the campaign demo. So if the humans and the elites allow their differences to deter them from helping one another, once the countdown clock hits 0, it would all be for nothing. Now, all in all, I found Hunters in the Dark to be extremely entertaining. It has great action sequences along with some very clever storytelling, and I must say that I'm really liking how 343 is tying all of the characters in the Halo universe together with every kind of media you can think of. The stories are there if you'd like to dive into them, but they won't break your experience with Halo 5. If anything, it'll enhance it. But before Halo 4, personally, I never really ventured outside the games and wasn't particularly interested in any of the lore outside of them. And now I cannot wait to read the next book. And if you're a Halo lore fan or want to learn more about it like myself, I strongly recommend Hunters in the Dark. I have no doubts that you'll enjoy it just like myself. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a like. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Rapskayana!